You ever wonder why the movies, shows, and TV commercials that we watch look so cinematic and sometimes the stuff that we shoot just doesn't? Well, it has less to do with the gear and the cameras that are being used and more so to do with the technique. Hey there, my name's Garrett. I'm a commercial videographer based in Tennessee, and today I want to give you 3 tricks that will instantly make your footage look more professional. Let's hop into it. One technique that is very prevalent in Hollywood and professional commercials is folks understanding the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds to me is not a rule, but more so a guideline that we can go by to help convey the message of whatever we're shooting. All the rule of thirds states is that if you were to break your picture or your image into thirds like a tic-tac-toe board, you would want to place your subject on any one of the intersecting lines or any one of the lines, period. So if I'm trying to make my subject look big and heroic, I would want them to be center framed, touching 2 of the lines on the thirds. If I'm wanting to make my subject look small in a big landscape, I may place them on a singular intersecting third with the rest of the image being blank and creating things like negative space. If I'm doing a corporate interview where I want my subject looking at the interviewer, I may place them to the right third or to the left third to help lead their eye line to the person that's interviewing them and help the audience understand that they are talking to somebody in an interview situation. So again, the rule of thirds is just a compositional technique that we use in order to convey a message to our audience. Bonus tip with rule of thirds is if you can create foreground, midground, and background elements and frames within your frames, it's going to make your compositions that much more interesting. If we take this office, for example, it's very flat and boring, but I have strategically placed myself inside of the frame of my closet door. There are other leading lines in this frame that help you see me as the subject. Focal length and depth of field are 2 things that are very important when it comes to telling a story within your video. For example, if I'm trying to create a world and help my audience visually see the office that I'm working in right now, I may shoot a little bit wide like I am right now on a 28mm. This helps you, the audience, understand the world that I'm working in. I can make that world even more wide and immersive by zooming out to like a 20mm, or I can make it a little more subject focused by punching in. And I know I'm chopping my head off there, but you see, it's a totally different feeling based on the focal length that I'm using here in my office. Let me get that back to where I was. Whoa, right about there. So understanding focal length and compression makes a big difference when it comes to conveying your story and your message to your audience. Longer focal lengths typically introduce more bokeh and more compression and more out of focus elements if you're shooting at a more open aperture, whereas wide lenses tend to include more of the environment and the world that you're in. Lighting and camera placement. This is one of the easiest ways to make your footage more cinematic. And the specific technique that I'm going to talk about right now is called shooting on the shadow side. All that means is I'm placing my subject in between the light source and the camera. I'm creating a shadow side to my face or shadow side to my subject that creates depth and contrast and interest. Because video is a 2D plane, our job is to make it look more 3D and more lifelike. One of the only ways that we have to do this, besides our foreground elements and compositional techniques, is by creating contrast and depth within our subject. So if you see, my light is actually to my right here being motivated by my back window. I have myself in between the light and the camera, which is creating this Rembrandt light right here. This is a look that I try to create whether I'm shooting a narrative, whether I'm shooting a corporate interview, or whether I'm shooting here on YouTube, because it's very pleasing and the contrast creates a cinematic image. There you have it. That's it. 3 very basic, very easy things that you can do today to help make your videography better, regardless of the gear that you have. If you like this video, want to see more content like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I love growing this community here on YouTube. Y'all have a good one, and we will see you in the next.